Hi, everybody. I am back for Naptime Nuggets number 28. I'm so excited to be here. I'm talking about something that we don't talk about very much today, actually. So let's jump right in. It's going to be a short and sweet Naptime Nuggets today with a very important topic. So let me ask you a question. Can you overindulge a child with nurturing? Meaning, when we normally talk about overindulgence, we talk about where they're getting too much, too many things. That's something we might talk about in a future episode. But today, we're talking about one great strategy for really helping kids go further in school and further in life to really apply themselves, feel competent, feel confident in themselves, and really keep working hard to get to those goals. We're going to talk about how to do that in two different ways. One is to avoid something, and the other one is to do something. So I'm going to give you actionable ideas so you can make sure you don't end up with a child or children in your life who are helpless. We don't want children who are helpless. We don't want people who are helpless, right? When they come across a problem, when they come across stress, we want them to rise up and problem solve. So how do we make that happen? I am lucky. I feel very blessed that I have been had the opportunity to learn from wonderful people. And one of those was Dr. Jean Ilsley Clark, who taught me about overindulgence. What? Okay, there's three different parts of overindulgence. One of them is too much stuff. Yes. One of them is really having a soft structure, not expecting kids to go by limits. Definitely, we could talk about that one of these days. But today we're talking about the third one, a critical piece to helping kids develop self-confidence. It's overindulging with nurturing. So whether you're a child care provider or teacher or parent or grandparent, you might have experienced this yourself, or you might be a little guilty of doing this. I was. Why? It was easier for me to just do it for him. I'm going to put that out there. So my 3-year-old is just struggling to get her coat zippered up, and I just want to jump in and help. And so I'm going to help her do that. And then she's 4, and well, now she kind of acts helpless, like she needs me to do it. So I'm just going to keep doing it. Now in childcare, you don't have the ability to just over nurture very often because you have so many different children's needs you're balancing. But you might be part of the second part of the picture, which is not giving enough responsibility. So kids need to have responsibility in order to feel like they're capable. So when I did Naptime Nuggets number 3, just about a year ago, I talked about how to get kids doing chores, how to actually get them to do chores around the house or around childcare. Today, we're not talking about that. We are talking about how to get them to do things for themselves, how to get them to rise up and keep trying and keep persevering even when the going gets tough, so that we have kids with skills. Did you know that some kids go to college and they have never cooked for themselves? Did you know kids go to college and they have never made decisions about things like what they put in their body, what they eat? They haven't had to make their own food. They haven't had to do their own laundry. So they get to college, and guess what? They're lacking skills. And guess what happens? They might get made fun of. They feel incompetent. It doesn't actually feel good to not have skills of taking care of yourself. So whether you're in childcare, whether you're parenting, I think you're going to get something from today's couple tips that I'm bringing to you. So one is that you're really going to watch the child. What is it that they're capable of? And when they act like they can't do it, you're going to send them this message. You got this. I believe in you. And you're going to start scaffolding your assistance of the child. So if they can't get the zipper on their coat, am I going to jump in and take over and do the zipper for them? No. Am I going to stand back and say, nope, you got this, you can do it yourself? No, not really. I'm going to scaffold my help, right? So can I hold the coat for them a little bit? Do they need me to help with that? And if they start going to pull up their zipper and they're really having trouble, I might give a little bit more encouragement or a hint about how to do it. But I'm going to just take a deep breath and send the message of, you got this. You're capable of this. But then I'm going to go a bigger step. And this is, I'm going to give them some responsibility. And that responsibility isn't only taking care of themselves, it's taking care of others. So if somebody's really good at zipping up their coat, can they help one of the smaller kids? Can they be an assistant? So what I want to ask you is, when it comes to helping kids, so we avoid over nurturing and we give them some more responsibility, what are some ways that you have done that in your care? And if you can tell me, for your kids, in your childcare, or as a parent taking care of your children, some responsibility that you give your children at different ages, then I'm going to give you some ideas about things that they can do that you might not have even thought of. So start typing in the box, what are some things? Hi, Angela. Hi, Chris. Add in the box, what are some things that you've expected of a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old that might surprise other people? What are these little kids capable of? Yesterday, when I was teaching my training on self-control, somebody came up to me at the break and they said, you know what? I haven't thought about this before. What are kids responsible for? Like, where can they start to learn the skills? So we think, you know what? A child can't clean up. They aren't capable. They're only getting in the way. They're 1-year-old. Oh, you know what? They're 8 years old. You're old enough. You should be doing the chores, or somewhere in between. So we think either they can do it or they can't do it. Very often they can make the bed or they can't. But how about thinking about the steps to get where they need to go? So we do this with reading and literacy. Really, here's the first step. We're going to talk to them. We're going to have conversations. We're going to use words. We're going to start to point to letters and teach letters and sounds. And then after 5 years, they start to get whole conversations and be able to recognize letters and put letters together to form words. It takes years, right? So how do you learn to clean well? You start out not being able to make a bed well, but with support and teaching, over time, you're able to make your own bed and make it well and feel proud of yourself for doing it. So why do you want to increase responsibility? Because you don't want helpless kids. You don't want kids that don't work hard to get things in life, right? And it starts with not over nurturing and standing back and letting them do it themselves, but also encouraging them to help others. So imagine I'm 4 years old and I want to do something to help. And you say, nope, I'm cooking dinner, you go play. What message did I just send to that 4-year-old? I sent them the message that they're not responsible, that they don't have to help do food. They don't have to help make this house happen. And that's actually a disparaging message. So even though sometimes it feels like I'm giving you a gift by doing these things for you, what kids who had parents and caregivers that gave them everything say later is, I wish they had taught me more skills. I also have this list right here. Let me see if I can get so you can see it. I am going to put this in early or later. I will put the 2 pictures of it, but it actually gives you lists of what can you expect of 1-year-olds. Now here we go. Diapering. What? You can expect a 1-year-old to diaper? Yes. What can they help with? What can a 1-year-old help with? Can they get the diaper? Can they get the wipe? Can they start to take their bottoms off? Now, if you're in childcare, you might be thinking, nightmare, 1-year-old taking their diaper off. But if they can't have any job, any responsibility, how are we going to work them in the direction of being responsible for using the potty themselves? So you start thinking, what are the steps I can give you? What is the responsibility I can start handing over? And those young kids start to feel competent and confident and start to actually do better. So can they be in charge of some of the things with diapering, throwing it in the pail, something like that? Can they fetch items for you? Can they help you clean up spills? 1-year-olds love to clean up spills. Can't they help you clean it up? Yes. And at 1, they're really excited about it. By 3, if they've never had to clean up, they might not be excited about it. But when they're 1, they start out that way. So you start out when it's really inconvenient for you to have them help, you start giving them more responsibility. And then as they get older, on this list, you'll see 4 and 5-year-olds, they can start to wash clothes. What? They can wash clothes? Yes, they can wash clothes. How hard is it to turn the dial to the right button, measure out the amount of soap that you put in there, and turn it to start? How hard is it to learn to put darks together and lights together? And the darks need to be on cold and whites need to be on warm. I have heard of adults who go to wash clothes who put all the colors together because they've never been taught that simple skill. So, in wrapping up, I'm going to look for your comments about things you're doing. Oh, good, Jackie. Hi. But I want to be able to wrap up so those of you who have to go can go. But let's keep sharing ideas with each other, because if you don't know what you can even expect of a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 5-year-old, or older, how are you supposed to send the message that they're capable and competent and help them feel that way so that they act that way and end up living that way? Nobody wants helpless kids. Let's work together to make kids helpful. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I'll be posting those resources later today. And if anybody else has other comments here about things that you're having kids do at different ages, I think it's really, really beneficial to learn from each other. So Jackie said, at rest time, we're cleaning clothes, wiping surfaces. I love that idea. So why is it that snack time, I have to wipe the table, put the napkins out, get the snack stuff ready, and then clean everything up after? Even in our 1 and 2-year-old classrooms, we will have 1-year-olds who take their little napkin to the garbage and put it in the garbage. It's a very simple job. And then we're teaching them, you are responsible. I believe in you. You're capable. And then they act more capable, even at 1 year old. Okay, so wiping down surfaces, I love that idea. Yes, that's true. I love that. If they can open an iPad and figure it out how to play games on an iPad, they can certainly figure out how to do the laundry. No, you're not going to expect them to fold all the laundry perfectly, but can they help fold the towels at 5, 6 years old, right? So walk them through the steps and help them out. Julie said, putting on snow gear. Parents do help because we want to help. We're trying to be kind and helpful to our kids, right? But when does helpful get in the way? Well, what Jean Elsley Clark tells us is when it gets in the way of their development. So if my child's not able to develop those motor skills for doing their zipper because I'm always doing it for them, that's going to be a problem, right? So we want to make sure we're not overdoing for our kids so that they can learn that those skills that they need. Oh, a table setter at lunch? Great. Oh, Julie, your kids bring the plate and napkin to the kitchen. Wonderful. And throw their napkin away. Great. Yeah, imagine I've seen it, you've seen it. Young kids today very often are taught, you know what? It's your job to play. It's your job to do sports. It's your job to study. It's your job to go to school. What about these people skills? We need to teach them people skills, right? So I hope this was helpful for you today. I'm going to pull together a blog on this topic. It'll be up in the next day. And I just love coming out with you guys. Next week, I'll be here on Wednesday. And don't forget, I do the online webinar series. If anybody is interested in, we actually have one on this topic, building self-confidence. That's going to be going up April 9th. So keep your eyes open and join me for Naptime Nuggets next week. Have a wonderful week, and thanks to Martha and Angela and Julie and Jackie for making comments in the box. Lisa, thank you. You know, when you guys join me every week, it makes me feel like this is all worth it over here. All this working and presenting and pulling stuff together, it's all worth it when you join me. So I hope to see you next week too, and have a wonderful week. Over and out.